in regulation. It is caught by Dyson. Can he get in? No, he cannot.
As the NFL transitioned into the new millennium, it capped off the 1999 season with one of the most dramatic finishes in sports history, and with it, a sneak peek at the next decade of pro football. Records shattered.
Hello, history books.
Dynasties forged.
What Tom Brady just did gives me goosebumps.
And an underdog revolution.
I don't know how he got out of there.
This was the golden age in NFL lore. The 2000s gave us the greatest games ever played. It was the platform for a new age of quarterbacks and an arena for all-time defenses who stood toe-to-toe.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And while all of it was happening on the field, the league was quickly evolving into a year-round spectacle through free agency, the draft, and a brand new 24/7 television network.
Your dreams have indeed come true.
TV deals ballooned, billion-dollar stadiums went up like monuments, fantasy leagues went mainstream, and the NFL media machine never stopped turning. The 2000s didn't just evolve the game, this decade perfected it.
There is no other way to put it.
I really don't look at it as retirement. I look at it as graduation.
I can say that I have been blessed with a career greater than I could have ever imagined.
The only man who's ever gained 1,000 yards 10 straight seasons will retire Wednesday.
In June, when I finally decided, it was like, okay, I am retiring at 49. Let's do it in the locker room. That's what I'm doing.
The turn of the millennium saw a changing of the guard among the league's most notable icons. Elway, Marino, Young, and Sanders were out. Troy Aikman entered his final season. Primetime was 33, and Jerry Rice was heading into his last year in San Francisco. The NFL needed an influx of new superstars, and the 2000 draft needed to deliver.
The Cleveland Browns select Courtney Brown, Peter Warrick, Heisman Trophy winner Ron Dane. The Oakland Raiders select Sebastian Janikowski, kicker, Florida State.
Wait, a kicker in the first round? This draft wasn't exactly setting a new foundation. That is, until pick number 199.
Finally, when the Patriots called, I was so excited. I was like, I don't have to be an insurance salesman,
We'll get to the GOAT plenty more in a bit. For now, let's dive into the first season of the decade and what made it so special.
And Marshall Faulk has set an NFL record 26th touchdown of the season.
With the quarterback position still in a state of purgatory, most offenses found comfort in the running game. Marshall Faulk was MVP, scoring a then record 26 touchdowns. There were 11 200-yard rushing performances, with Corey Dillon's 278 setting the single-game record in Week 8. And get this, 23 players recorded at least 1,000 rushing yards. That's unheard of. Compare that to only 8 running backs reaching the mark in 2020, and you can safely call this the year of the running back. You had your stars, Edge, Emmett, Eddie George, among others. Then came a wave of, wait, who's this guy? James Allen? James Stewart? Lamar Smith? All 1,000-yard backs.
This would be the biggest deficit ever overcome. Here's Benny going to the end zone. Can he make the catch? Yes!
Madness broke out in football's top primetime slot, as it seemed every Monday night game was a thriller. Jumbo Elliott made himself a household name in the Monday Night Miracle.
He's juggled and caught by Jumbo Elliott. The tackle, he's open, he's juggling, he's falling down, and they're 1 point from tying the game.
Tampa Bay and St. Louis clashed in an all-time revenge game, and Antonio Freeman left us asking,
He did what? Can he make the catch at the 15?
Yes.
What are they going to rule? That he caught it?
It never hit the ground.
Touchdown!
The 2000 playoffs came with major surprises. The Saints won their first postseason game ever after a monumental upset over the defending champs.
Spear caught at the 9-yard line and then fumbled. The Saints fumbled the ball and the ball game away.
The Dolphins walked it off against a young Peyton Manning in overtime, marking Miami's most recent postseason victory to date.
Cuts it out short. That's Lamar Smith. Touchdown. It's over.
But the story of the postseason was the Baltimore Ravens, who not only had the best defense of the decade, but arguably of all time. Ray Lewis and company held opponents to single digits 9 different times. 165 points allowed is the least ever in a 16-game season. Lewis ran away with Defensive Player of the Year and then stunned the top-seeded Titans in the divisional round.
And Lewis is on his way. He's going to go for a touchdown.
Capping their run through the AFC with a 16-3 stomping of the Raiders, Baltimore was in the Super Bowl. Against the Giants, Lewis and the crew gave New York a beatdown they'd never forget.
1st and 10 for Kerry Collins, who's thrown his 4th interception to Dwayne Starks, and he will go in untouched for 6.
New York gained just 152 yards with their lone touchdown coming on a kick return. Baltimore wins 34-7. Lewis takes home Super Bowl MVP, and the decade is officially in full gear. The 2001 offseason was an especially busy one. Free agency was becoming the new norm as teams could quickly transform into title contenders with their moves in March. No team did better than New England. The Pats signed nearly 24 free agents in 2001, transforming a team that went 5-11 the year prior. And while you don't see many superstars, it's a class full of depth, experience, and most of all, value. The Bucs made a splash, signing star pass rusher Simeon Rice. KC made a move for Priest Holmes, and the Raiders got in on the fun, signing soon-to-be 39-year-old Jerry Rice.
With the first selection in the 2001 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Vick, quarterback, Virginia Tech.
The draft featured star power at the top, with the Falcons trading up to take Michael Vick first overall. On the other end of that deal, the Chargers got a pair of future Hall of Famers, LT at number 5 and Drew Brees with pick 32.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Arena League, World League, and now All World. Touchdown.
Coming off a brutal wild card loss, the Rams came back with a vengeance in 2001. St. Louis scored over 500 points for the 3rd straight season, with Kurt Warner securing a second MVP.
1st and 10 at the 42. Strahan gets the sack. Michael Strahan gets the sack.
Elsewhere in the NFC, Michael Strahan racked up 22.5 sacks, good enough for the single-season record. But the best defensive performance of 2001 has to go to the Bears. Chicago allowed the fewest points in the NFL during a 13-win season out of nowhere. Safety Mike Brown can be thanked for 2 of those miraculous victories in back-to-back weeks.
Mike Brown into the end zone. Wins it in overtime for the Bears.
Couch out of the shotgun. Throws, that's batted into the air, intercepted, and the Bears are going to win it! Mike Brown has done it again!
Switching conferences, the Steelers were riding high. Between the top-ranked defense and the league's best rushing attack, Pittsburgh won 13 games. Oakland, meantime, was flourishing with veterans Rice, Brown, and Gannon, but in reality, another team was destined to represent the AFC, shaping the landscape of the next 20 years of football.
Gonna run it. Needs 10 yards. He hit. Oh my.
The Mo Lewis hit heard round the world. With newly signed quarterback Drew Bledsoe out, it looked to be another wasted season for Bill Belichick's squad. Well, unless, of course, their backup was the greatest football player of all time.
A 1st and 10 from the 8. Brady looking to throw, airing it out. Brady coming back for the football. David Patton. He could take it the distance. Streaks in.
24-year-old Tom Brady, New England's 6th-round pick the year before, had the offense running on all cylinders. The Patriots' veteran free agent class was shining too. They managed to win 11 games, but how far could these guys actually go?
Blitz. Lost the football. It's on the ground, covered by the Raiders.
His college teammate, Charles Woodson, on the blitz.
Reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 on the 42.
This is to advance to the AFC Championship game.
One tuck rule and 2 miracle kicks later, New England survives. Against the Steelers in the AFC Championship, the Pats led wire to wire, securing their spot in Super Bowl 36 against the high-powered Rams.
How can you beat the Rams?
All the advantages do go to the Rams. And JB, I've got to be honest, I haven't been this confident that one team would beat another team in a Super Bowl since Super Bowl III.
Tonight, a dynasty is born, baby.
St. Louis was a 14-point favorite against Belichick's cast of unknowns. Yet, in a decade defined by its underdog stories and thrilling Super Bowls, this matchup proved to be no exception. New England had a genius defensive game plan, and the fastest offense in football was neutralized.
Falk has to let it go, picked off. Ty Law down the sidelines, touchdown.
Down 17-3 going into the final quarter, the Rams rallied and tied the game with 90 seconds to go. The game was now in the hands of the second-year, 6th-round pick.
Brady again throws. That's to Redmond again.
Sunset points.
That's right. Here's Brady again. Up the middle, caught, and it's Troy Brown, and he gets out of bounds. Right now, it would be a 53-yarder. Here comes the blitz, and here's Brady. He dumps it to Wiggins down to the 30.
He'll spike it here. I'll tell you, what Tom Brady just did gives me goosebumps.
Here comes one of greater importance if he makes it. And it's right down the pipe. And the Patriots have won Super Bowl 36.
And little did anyone know that kick would spark the greatest dynasty in the history of pro football. The Houston Texans became the 32nd NFL franchise in 2002, and with the expansion came the latest round of realignment, Central divisions out, North and South in. There would be 8 4-team divisions, and the Seahawks would move from the AFC to the NFC. Elsewhere, we had a major trade involving one of the league's top coaches.
I really don't care what kind of moods we're in. We're going to have a lot of juice, and it's genuine.
After a heartbreaking loss in the tuck rule game, Al Davis and the Raiders shipped off John Gruden to Tampa Bay for 2 first- and second-round picks, a steep price for the Bucs, who fired Tony Dungy earlier that year after 2 straight playoff losses to the Eagles. He'd immediately sign with Indy, an underachiever looking for stability. The 0-2 regular season can be defined as a year of peak parity. 75% of the league won at least 7 games, and no team won more than 12. The Patriots went 9-7 and missed the playoffs, while the Browns got in with the same record. And among the many records broken over the decade, Emmitt Smith's career rushing title stands at the top of the mountain.
Emmitt Smith has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
Meanwhile, Marvin Harrison shattered the single-season receptions record, 143 catches, a mark that would stand for 17 seasons. And while all this was going on, there was a second-year phenom in Atlanta making plays we'd never seen from a quarterback.
On 2nd and 8, off the play fake, has some running room, inside the 30, inside the 20, Vick into the end zone. Falcons win in overtime. A 46-yard touchdown run.
Michael Vick redefined what it meant to be a dual threat. He compiled nearly 800 yards on the ground and 8 touchdowns, leading the Falcons to the postseason. Young quarterbacks were beginning to make a name for themselves, but it was a grizzled vet who took home MVP. At age 37, Rich Gannon had a career high in passing yards and led a Gruden-less Raiders offense to over 28 points per game.
He looks to his second option, going deep. He's got Rice, touchdown!
Jerry Rice was his leading receiver, amassing over 1,200 yards at age 40. But Gruden was enjoying 2002 just as much. The famous Tampa 2 defense was becoming one of the best in league history, allowing only 12 points per game. After 2 quick exits at the hand of the Eagles in the playoffs, this team had higher aspirations, but back to them in a second. The 2002 playoffs put the Wild in wild card.
He always wanted to emulate it with Steve Young, and he has a lot of the same tools that Steve Young had, including this.
Yep.
what they call the old escapability.
Michael Vick and the Falcons did the unthinkable, upsetting the Packers in Lambeau, Green Bay's first ever home playoff loss. The Steelers and Browns clashed in a ridiculous shootout, starring Kelly Holcomb and Tommy Maddox.
It has taken the Steelers until 54 seconds remain on the clock to grab their first lead.
Pittsburgh engineered a 17-point comeback win, needing every second to advance.
Holcomb throwing, complete inside the 30-yard line, looking for the out-of-bounds marker, and he got there. No, now ruled caught, but we're out of time.
And it gets crazier. The best game of the weekend and the season took place in San Francisco, where the Niners faced a 38-14 hole late in the third quarter.
Chris Collinsworth was involved in the one. Look at that. What a fake. Garcia. Touchdown, San Francisco. Garcia fires. Touchdown, 49ers.
What happened next made Trey Junkin a household name across American living rooms for all the wrong reasons.
Trey Junkin snapping it. Bad snap. Allen couldn't get it down, and now he fires.
Despite the fun in round one, the rest of the postseason was controlled by the elite. Oakland cruised through the AFC, and Tampa finally got past their demons in Philly, closing down the vet in style.
That's picked off. That's picked off, and who else? Rondé Barber. All the way, untouched, down the field.
The first storyline of 2002 proved to be the final as well, John Gruden against the team that traded him away, and while Gannon and the crew looked unstoppable all year, Derek Brooks and the Tampa defense were ready.
3rd and 18, and this is going to write a finish. Derek Brooks to cement the Super Bowl.
Gannon was picked off 5 times, 3 returned for touchdowns. Tampa wins 48-21, and Gruden gets his revenge.
24/7, 365 network dedicated entirely to the National Football League.
The game truly became a year-round obsession. NFL Network launched, bringing 24/7 football to fans for the first time. And fantasy football began to explode in popularity, keeping fans engaged well beyond game day.
Anquan Bolden once again into the open field. Bolden is gone.
And if you were playing fantasy football in 2003, you had plenty of monster performances to be happy about. Opening day saw Anquan Bolden go for 217 yards, which remains a rookie debut record. The year of the running back was turning into the decade of the running back. Jamal Lewis became the 5th player to rush for 2,000 yards in a season.
Got an opening. I'd say he's going to get his touches. He has 6.
And Priest Holmes found the end zone 27 times, a single season record we'd see broken a few more times by decade's end.
This New England offense has got to get off its butt and do something.
Intercepted. Picked off right side.
After the biggest loss of Bill Belichick's entire tenure in New England, the world began to wonder if the 2001 team was a fluke. That talk ended quickly, though, as the Pats won 12 straight en route to the AFC's top seed. Peyton Manning was still searching for his first career playoff win in year 6. He continued to put up gaudy numbers, but Indy struggled against the league's best teams.
There's your interception by Rondé Barber. So a sack and an interception on this drive.
After going down 35-14 late in the fourth quarter to the Bucs on Monday Night Football in Week 5, these guys looked like the same old Colts. But in the words of Lee Corso, not so fast.
He's in for the touchdown with a score 35-21. Advantage after a high hopper and Bashir, and he has it.
They got to get one more play right here defensively.
Manning buying time, throwing, finding the open man. It's Harrison for the touchdown, and they're down by 1 score.
They don't have to worry about sniping.
No, they can milk it. Williams
This is off the charts for Vanderjagt. Hunter Smith to hold it. Now a 29-yard attempt by Vanderjagt. He hits the upright and it bangs through. How crazy is this?
The Colts' miraculous comeback was a big part of Manning taking a share of MVP alongside Steve McNair. The upstart Panthers made their first postseason trip of the decade, and their division rivals were aiming to do the same. All the Saints had to do was win their final 2 games of the season.
He's going to have to score on this one, and he's got a chance. Getting a couple of blocks, laterals it over to Michael Lewis. Back to McAllister. Still alive. And they got him. Jerome Payton with the catch, and he dives into the end zone for the touchdown. What a play to keep your season alive. Now there's pressure on Carney to get the extra point and tie this ball game. And he missed it. Can you believe that finish?
Playoff dreams crushed. Staying in the NFC, the Packers and Vikings postseason hopes came down to the final Sunday. Green Bay desperately needed a Minnesota loss to the 3-12 Cardinals. On a 4th and 25 with seconds left, the unthinkable happened.
He's all by himself, fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No! No! The Cardinals have knocked the Vikings out of the playoffs!
The 03 playoffs were set, and fans were in for arguably the greatest postseason in NFL history. Walk-off touchdowns, high-scoring QB duels, surprise heroes, and much, much more. Roll the tape.
Gary Anderson from 46 yards. It's good! Ha! Cole, MVP of the National Football League. He knows what to do.
Down the middle, Stokely! 40! Nobody catches him! Touchdown, Indianapolis!
Triple figures in yards receiving. DeLong. And making the catch for the touchdown is Steve Smith. 32 yards as they go to work on Newman again.
What do you call?
I'd like to call heads.
Heads is called.
Look at him, he's laughing.
Heads! Seattle has won the toss.
We want the ball, we're going to score.
Oh, boy.
They're coming. The pass is picked off. Intercepted. Back the other way. The Green Bay Packers advance. Touchdown, Al Harris.
We're just getting started, too. On to the divisional round, where all 4 games were decided by 1 score.
Bennett coming back for it, had it, and dropped it. Drew Bennett had a legitimate shot at catching this pass.
3rd down and 14. DeLong fires to an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. No flags down. Smith scores, and the Carolina Panthers win in overtime.
On a 3rd and 14.
10th play of this opening drive. The fake to Rhodes. Manning down the middle to Stokely. Touchdown. Unstoppable. As the Broncos learned last week in Indianapolis. Here comes Dante Hall. 40. Got a chance to go. 50. Vanderjagt to beat. Touchdown, Dante Hall. 92 yards. Make sure that James knows the call. And throws deep for Wayne. Touchdown. Oh, my. Every time they've had the ball, they've scored. Into the end zone for a touchdown. Peyton Manning and the rest of this Indianapolis team earn a 38-31 win.
Neither team punted in that Colts-Chiefs clash, the first time it ever happened in a playoff game.
Now trying to stop a 4th and 26 and in essence take over. Plenty of time. Down the middle, it's Mitchell. Where will they spot him? They're going to get forward progress and a 1st down.
I am so surprised at that coverage. They play a cover 2, which leaves it wide open down the middle for the 2nd time in a row.
This number's during the regular season. Akers ties it. Favre just heaves it. Only Eagles are there, and it's picked off by Dawkins. Into Green Bay territory and beyond, still going inside the 35.
All right, cross your fingers, Eagles fans. Hold your breath. 31-yard field goal attempt by David Akers. The kick is up, and that's going to be it.
Now, the conference championships, which featured the first Brady-Manning playoff matchup, and despite not having to punt once through the first 2 games, the Colts looked lost against the Belichick defense.
Ty Law picks it off from the 26. Manning on the move, flips it incomplete. Is it picked off? Not a heavy rush at all. Far sideline, short picked off. Ty Law.
Ty Law picked off Peyton Manning 3 times, and the Pats were back in the Super Bowl. In the NFC, Carolina showed the country they could play some defense too.
The pass is picked off by Manning. Donovan McNabb was to get off the ground. On 3rd down, there's Manning again, another pick.
They're killing the Eagles right now.
3rd down and 13. McNabb guns it. It's in the air, and it's Manning again. His 3rd of the night.
So Super Bowl 38 was set, and man, it was slow to get going. Defenses prevailed early until a scoring explosion turned this game into one of the best Super Bowls ever.
Brady has it, throwing, touchdown. Gonna go deep down the far sideline. It is caught, touchdown. Steve Smith.
He's open for the touchdown pass. Pretty good dance, too.
Brady, play fake, throw, touchdown.
Very confident and showing well tonight.
On 2nd and 10, Deshaun Foster. Foster breaks through, 30, still on his feet, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Play fake, Delhomme pulls it down, looking, gonna go deep, has his man wide open, it's Muhammad. Muhammad to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Pressuring the other team.
Brady looking to throw it, touchdown. Mike Vrabel.
9 back in coverage.
Big blitz, throwing to the end zone, touchdown!
61 points in the game's final 33 minutes. While the Panthers fought courageously, New England had the ball last. A few clutch Brady throws later, and it was Vinatieri for the win.
From 41 yards, looks good!
Make it 2 in 3 years for New England, and we were on the precipice of a dynasty. Headed into the offseason, all eyes were on the draft, and for good reason. The Chargers were locked in with the #1 pick, but it was clear top prospect Eli Manning had no interest.
Why don't you want to play for the Chargers?
We're not really giving details right now. We've made our decision, and that's what we're sticking to.
He was drafted first anyways and was later traded to the Giants in a swap for North Carolina State QB Phillip Rivers. The third QB of the bunch, Ben Roethlisberger, kicked off a new era in the Steel City. The new generation of signal callers was coming to fruition. Despite losing Marino, Elway, Aikman, and Young, the position was entering a golden age. MVPs, Super Bowl legends, and dual threats were reinventing the position.
Number 21 replacing Ty Law, and on 2nd and 6, Roethlisberger pumps, throws long for Burris, and Burris has it. Touchdown, Steelers!
Roethlisberger found the most success early on. Pittsburgh went 15-1 with Big Ben winning every start, but the Steelers weren't the AFC's only surprise contender.
Here's Drew Brees throwing down the field, wide open. Antonio Gates down the sideline, and he's gone!
After finishing with the league's worst record a season prior, the Chargers found their groove with Brees, LT, and a former college basketball player named Antonio Gates. Undrafted out of Kent State, his 13 receiving touchdowns in 2004 was a new record for tight ends. Alongside guys like Jason Witten, Jeremy Shockey, and Tony Gonzalez, the league was in the midst of a boom at the position. While Hall of Fame tight ends had dominated the gridiron before, the 2000s marked a true renaissance for the position. They were no longer thought of as blockers first, but elite red zone threats that could also serve as a reliable safety blanket. Before 2000, there had been only 17 instances where a tight end cracked 1,000 yards in a season. From 2000 on, there have been 41.
Field goal range for Morton Anderson.
Culpepper,
Moss. Randy Moss is in for a touchdown.
Oh, Al Harris playing off, bit up on the the route, and Randy Moss, without even really being able to run, as he shoots the moon to the fans here in Green Bay.
That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Can't sugarcoat it, the 04 playoffs weren't great. The wild card round was headlined by that Randy Moss celebration, but fans quickly turned to a prize fight 1 week later. Brady versus Manning round 2. By now, it was the league's marquee rivalry. After winning his first playoff game in 2003, Manning was looking to take the next step as an elite quarterback. He did so by breaking a 20-year-old record.
He's got it! Manning's got the record! Peyton Manning has captured a piece of NFL history!
Manning's 49 passing touchdowns surpassed the mark set by Dan Marino in 1984. The MVP had his offense on a warpath to avenge their AFC Championship loss. On the other side, New England's win streak ballooned to 21 games, an NFL record. Belichick's defense remained among the best, and the addition of 1,600-yard rusher Corey Dillon took the offense to another level. They were again too much for an overwhelmed Colts squad.
Run, throws, touchdown! Touchdown, Patriots! It was all about their offense, but in this big game, they couldn't get it done. There's the interception.
Indy was held without a touchdown, and the Pats were on to Pittsburgh, facing off against the rookie quarterback yet to lose a game. New England got its payback from earlier that season.
Roethlisberger picked off. You could see that one coming. It's Rodney Harrison. Roethlisberger looking to make a play, and he's knocked down. Rodney Harrison will run it back.
A third Super Bowl win in 4 years was in play, but a revamped team in Philly stood in their way.
I feel like I'm in a winning organization here. Maybe I am the missing link.
Like Terrell said about...
Terrell.
That's what I meant, Terrell. We'll get this straight right now. It's Tio.
Coming off their third straight NFC Championship loss, it was clear the Eagles needed to make a splash to get over the hump. They went big, signing the never-shy Terrell Owens. The team won 13 of its first 14 games, with T.O. hauling in 14 touchdowns. Philly was a powerhouse, and it seemed to be now or never.
2nd down and 8. McNabb fires the pass to Terrell Owens into the open field.
T.O.'s gutsy performance on a broken leg gave the Eagles a real shot at preventing a Patriots repeat. Unfortunately, his quarterback couldn't find the same success.
Down the middle of the field, and the pass is picked off by Harrison. And the New England Patriots are on their way to solidifying their team as an NFL dynasty.
Philly put up a good fight, but it was the coronation of a dynasty. New England was a 3-time Super Bowl champ and the team of the decade. There was now one objective for the other 31 franchises: take down the Patriots. We began 2005 in April, where the major storyline surrounding the draft was which quarterback was going number 1.
I dreamt about being the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. So you can imagine my disappointment in 2005 when they decided to go a different direction.
San Francisco had taken a significant fall from grace since the 90s and looked to Utah's Alex Smith to continue their storied QB tradition. Cal's Aaron Rodgers missed out on going first and kept on sliding and sliding and sliding.
A couple of weeks ago, Aaron, you were the clear-cut number 1. What's changed over that time?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you.
Thought once to be the top pick, Rodgers was now poised to be Brett Favre's successor in Titletown. Did you know there were 3 running backs taken in the top 5 picks that year? Unlikely that happens again anytime soon. The value of the position was on full display, and the decade was headlined by some of the best single seasons we've ever seen out of the backfield.
That's his 4th rushing touchdown.
We've already seen Falk and Holmes set single-season touchdown records. Next up was Sean Alexander, raising the bar even higher. The Seahawk eclipsed 1,800 rushing yards and found the end zone 28 times. Alexander won MVP, leading Seattle to a 13-3 record and a berth in Super Bowl 40. More running back dominance later, but can we interest you in another position?
Brooks with time, rifles, touchdown Saints. Joe Horn, and he pulls up, there's a new one,
He got his own phone. He hit his phone.
Wideouts began to make waves for a different reason. It was the decade of the diva, garnering attention for elaborate touchdown celebrations, mic'd up treasures,
Stinky diaper!
and spats with the media.
No comment.
But if you knew it beforehand, would that have changed your decision?
No comment.
After coming up just short in the Super Bowl, Terrell Owens wanted a new contract with the Eagles, and safe to say he didn't go about it the right way.
What do you say to the fans?
Add in a toxic relationship with his quarterback, and Owens was dismissed from the team. While their antics garnered the headlines, these confident stars had the substance to back it up.
If you see this face, that means I score.
Touchdown, Carolina Panthers.
If you see this face again, that means I scored again.
Take Steve Smith, who won the receiving Triple Crown in 2005. Who remembers his dominance in the divisional round that year? And of course, the celebration king. No conversation about the 2000s can be complete without Ocho Cinco.
Touchdown, Cincinnati.
And he's full of energy. He has a lot of antics, but the players, they love him.
The Bengals were tearing up the league with Carson Palmer at the helm in 05. Johnson totaled over 1,400 receiving yards, and the team won the AFC North.
Palmer going for the deep ball, looking for Johnson. He's under it and taken off down the sideline. And Palmer was walloped after the throw.
But in devastating fashion, Palmer tore his ACL on the first pass of the playoffs, and since he got eliminated by the rival Steelers, in a decade with so many improbable playoff runs, 6th-seeded Pittsburgh was looking to create a miracle of its own. They took an 18-point lead into the fourth quarter of the divisional round. With the 14-2 Colts on their heels, it seemed like a wrap.
They got to keep him out of the end zone. Dennis. And here he is playing the game of his life, and the tackle by Gary Brackett dislodges the ball from Bettis to Tom. And it's no good. He missed it.
Cower and company survived Bettis's fumble, and it was on to the AFC title game, but instead of facing the defending champs, it was Denver who stood in their way. The Broncos ended New England's three-peat hopes with a definitive win, but fell flat a week later against the underdogs, so it would be the Steelers and Seahawks in Super Bowl 40, a game to forget aside from this trick play mastery.
Here comes a gadget play. Randall L. He can throw. He was a quarterback in college. And he's thrown a touchdown to Hines Ward in the Super Bowl.
Hines Ward, your MVP, Cower gets his first ring, and Jerome Bettis rides off into the sunset. Okay, strap in here. 2006 was loaded with storylines and a brand new commish.
Next commissioner of the National Football League, Roger Goodell.
While Roger Goodell succeeded Paul Tagliabue, new TV deals were taking shape. Monday Night Football went from ABC to ESPN. Sunday nights now belong to a new-look NBC production featuring Al Michaels and John Madden in the booth. And for the first time ever, the NFL Network would air live games on Thursday night. The offseason provided the Saints and the city of New Orleans new hope with incoming head coach Sean Payton and quarterback Drew Brees. A year after Hurricane Katrina decimated the city, the Saints returned to the Superdome in a moment that transcended sports.
Look out, right through! A pick block by Steve Gleason. It is scooped and scored by Curtis DeLoach. Touchdown, New Orleans!
From 3-13 to the NFC Championship game in just one season, New Orleans' Cinderella run would finally come to an end in Chicago, and those 06 Bears were one of the most unique teams of the decade.
Mark Anderson, the hit, the scoop and score for Mike Brown. The Bears get back in it. Second down, here's James. And into the line, did the ball come out? It did! It is scooped up by the Bears! Charles Tillman takes it the distance, and Chicago is very much alive. And the Bears will get the ball back. Almost got some players kick. Devin Hester from the 18. Reading box, Devin Hester into the open field. And Hester picks up another block. Devin Hester, the punter to beat. He beat him. Devin Hester all the way. Touchdown, Chicago Bears.
It's just incredible. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Thanks, Coach.
That's how Chicago made you feel in 2006. A shutdown defense, elite special teams, and a little bit of luck. Chicago went 13-3, and rookie Devin Hester recorded 7 return touchdowns, including the opener of Super Bowl 41.
And the Colts have had a hard time all season covering kicks. It's Hester trying to work it back to the middle. Gets past the first wave, and here he goes. It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown. And no flag, 92 yards.
Hester wasn't the only elite return ace of the decade. The human joystick, Dante Hall, Josh Cribbs, and even Michael Lewis left their impression on the NFL with some of the most exciting plays of the decade. Over in the AFC, Breeze's old team wasn't doing too shabby themselves. With Phillip Rivers now under center, San Diego won a franchise record 14 games. The Chargers boasted the league's top scoring offense with 186 points, credited to one man.
LaDainian throwing and wide open, touchdown! We talked to LaDainian Tomlinson. As all of you know, he's had great success with that pass. 2nd and 2. LT. LaDainian Tomlinson down the sideline, touchdown, San Diego. Wow! Tomlinson off the left side. Tomlinson sidesteps. Hello, history books.
LaDainian Tomlinson was the best player in the NFL in 2006, 2,323 yards from scrimmage, and 31 touchdowns. The decade of great individual running back seasons hit its apex with the 2006 NFL MVP breaking the touchdown record for the 4th time in the decade. You're looking at fantasy football icons here. LT's 31 scores are still a single season high, and no one has come close.
1st and goal, Chargers from the 3. Tomlinson cuts outside. No one's going to get to him.
The Bolts played host to New England in their first playoff game. Tomlinson picked up right where he left off, and it all seemed to be going to plan. Enter Marlon McCree.
Brady throws in. He's intercepted for the 3rd time. And the ball comes out. Troy Brown reached in there and knocked the ball loose. Can you believe it? New England recovers. 2nd and 1. Fake to Dillon. Brady looks, finds open his receiver, and it's Rashae Caldwell for the lead for Gostowski. And the kick is good. And Kading trying to match his career long and send this game to overtime. 54 yards, and Kading, it better hook in a hurry. It doesn't.
San Diego's storybook season ends with an absolute gut punch, and it might be the 2nd most baffling finish in those playoffs.
19-yard field goal attempt. Oh, it is fumbled by Romo, and then Romo's going to run to the end zone, and he's going to get tackled by Jordan Babineau.
The postseason shenanigans continued in the AFC Championship game, where guess what? Brady and Manning met again, this time with the Colts at home, but that didn't seem to matter as New England trotted out to a 21-3 lead.
And Manning's pass is intercepted. It's Asante Samuel going in untouched.
But touchdowns from a pair of linemen gave Indy hope that maybe, just maybe, this time would be different. The teams traded blows in an all-time classic, with the Colts taking the lead late. Would Brady rip their hearts out again?
Intercepted! Colts are going to the Super Bowl. Marlon Jackson.
With the monkey off their back, the Colts move on, and Manning makes his first Super Bowl, the first ever featuring 2 black head coaches. That rainy night in Miami saw Hester's legend take off, an otherworldly halftime show by Prince, and a long-awaited Lombardi trophy for Dungy and his Colts.
Look out here, he's intercepted. Picked off by Kelvin Hayden. And Hayden still running inside the 20, and Hayden may run it back all the way. He does!
And there you have it. Peyton is officially on the board. The league was clearly in great hands with their superstars, and it was about to see a massive influx of talent in the best draft class of the decade. You won't see a QB up here, but take a look at this group of studs. 4 Hall of Famers, 3 of which were on the first ballot. Adrian Peterson will be in soon. Marshall Yonda and Marshawn Lynch are in the conversation too.
The Oakland Raiders select quarterback Jamarcus Russell, LSU.
Oof, tough break for the Raiders, who weren't done yet. They were looking to move on from a certain veteran receiver and turned New England into the winners of the draft.
Oakland sending disgruntled yet talented wide receiver Randy Moss to New England for a 4th-round draft pick.
New England also traded a 2nd-round pick to Miami for Wes Welker. After missing out on the Super Bowl the past 2 years, Brady and company came back with something to prove. This team was unfair.
Able to go long for Moss. Moss has his first touchdown as a Patriot.
New England became the only team in NFL history to have an undefeated 16-game regular season, and their plus 315-point differential is the highest ever. Games were finished by halftime, winning 10 of their matchups by more than 20 points.
Brady with time, going back again to Moss. Touchdown, Patriots!
Brady became the first quarterback to throw 50 touchdowns in a season, and Moss's 23 receiving touchdowns also broke the single-season mark. Welker caught 112 passes in the slot, tops in the NFL. Add in the usual Belichick top-5 defense, this team was unbeatable. Brady wasn't the only record-breaking quarterback at 2007.
There it is! The record! And Brett Favre is the all-time touchdown pass leader.
Brett Favre surpassed Dan Marino as the all-time leader in passing touchdowns. With Aaron Rodgers still on the bench, the 38-year-old looked to have one more run in him, leading Green Bay to a 13-3 season. Elsewhere in the NFC North, rookie Adrian Peterson put the league on notice, breaking the single-game rushing record in his 8th career game.
It's inside a block, inside the 40, up the sideline, and he's gone!
You see a performance where you say to yourself, I'm just glad to be here.
Terrell Owens, now in Dallas, was making a splash alongside Tony Romo. The Cowboys finished 13-3 and won the NFC East for the first time since '98. But it was a different team in the division that would be the story of the postseason.
Intercepted. Giants are 9 seconds away from advancing to the NFC Championship.
After sneaking into the playoffs, the Giants became a new team in January. The defensive line turned it on thanks to Strahan and Tuck. New York beat the Bucs in the wild card, then went into Dallas and upset the top seed. In the NFC Championship, they went north to freezing Lambeau for one of the coldest games in NFL history.
A blitz coming from the Giants. Favre looking for Driver, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Webster. Can he send the Giants to the Super Bowl? The kick is good, and the Giants are going to the Super Bowl.
The Giants spoiled Favre's final home game with the Pack, but to win the Lombardi, they'd have to go through a juggernaut. At 18-0, the Patriots were on the verge of perfection and a massive favorite in Super Bowl 42.
Brady in trouble again, Justin Tuck.
But because there was no inside push, he could step up and deliver the ball.
20 seconds left in the half, and the ball's knocked loose. Strahan was in there, Tuck was in there, and Umanura's fighting for the football.
The 4-man pass rush was throwing off a Patriot offense that seemed unfazed all season. With less than 3 minutes remaining, New York had the ball down 4 and a chance to pull the upset of a lifetime.
Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
And Eli, man, I don't know how he got out of there. I thought he was on the ground, and then he came out of the pile and just slings it. That's a great catch by David Tyree.
Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
18-1. The most dominant season in NFL history ends in agony, and the New York Giants, against all odds, are the team hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at year's end.
Well, I think we all know why I'm here.
The summer of Favre. The future Hall of Famer announced his retirement from the NFL in March of 2008, then had a change of heart. With the Pack now on to Rodgers, Green Bay dealt the veteran to the Jets in August. The AFC East was now juiced with storylines none bigger than what happened in Week 1.
Brady, with time, hit as he throws the ball. That is complete. Randy Moss, and Moss lost the football.
And Tom Brady got hit right on the knee. He got hit right on the knee. Kansas City came up with the ball, but that's not the story.
Coming off the best year of his career, Brady now had to spend the 2008 season on the sideline. Matt Castle, who never started a game in college, still led the team to 11 wins, but the Pats somehow missed out on the postseason. So Favre won the division, right? Nope. Miami's unlikely turnaround saw them go from 1-15 to AFC East Kings thanks to a new formation called the Wildcat.
And now Miami sends Pennington out to the perimeter again, and it's Ronnie Brown. And they continue to gash the Patriots.
Not every team was enjoying themselves quite as much as Miami. Over in Detroit, the Lions put together the worst record in NFL history.
Here comes Jared Allen, and he's out of bounds. Poor guy, I don't even know if he realized it. And that's a safety.
They became the first team to go 0-16 with a point differential of -249. A pair of rookie signal callers burst onto the scene with Matt Ryan and Joe Flacco, each leading their squads to the playoffs. In Baltimore, the Ravens were back in the Super Bowl mix under first-year head coach John Harbaugh. 11 wins on the backs of another elite defense, headlined by Lewis and Reed.
Cobb still has it. Throws into the end zone. It's intercepted by Ed Reed. He gets away from Cobb, and he is still going down the sideline. Brent Selleck trying to cut him off. Reed needs one more block. He goes all the way. Touchdown.
3 years after their victory in Super Bowl 40, the Steelers were poised to make another run. Pittsburgh's defense led the league in every major statistical category. Simply put, you couldn't score on this team. Troy Polamalu was challenging Reed for the title of best safety in football. James Harrison won Defensive Player of the Year, notching 16 sacks and 7 forced fumbles. The Steelers-Ravens rivalry was at its peak, producing a classic in Week 15.
Roethlisberger, first option, shut down. Looking for a second, a third option, now throws it. Man's there. Is he in the end zone? Is he in or outside? They're going to mark him outside.
After reviewing the play, the receiver had 2 feet down in the end zone with possession of the ball. We have a touchdown.
It's a touchdown for Pittsburgh.
These two wrecking machines were on a collision course, and there was no love lost in the championship game. The rivals beat each other up in a bitter defensive slugfest, with number 43 sending Pittsburgh back to the big game.
Picked off Polamalu. Polamalu going right. The field is open. Aaron Smith shields. Flacco. Polamalu takes it home. Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh might be bound for that thanks to number 43.
After a Super Bowl win and 2 MVPs, Kurt Warner was run out of St. Louis and seemingly headed into NFL purgatory behind Eli Manning in New York. At age 34, he signed with the Cardinals, winning just 8 starts from 2005 to 2007. But something clicked in 2008. The vet had a renaissance with over 4,500 passing yards. Arizona would make the playoffs for the first time in 10 seasons. That's where we witnessed the magic of Larry Fitzgerald.
Throw it back on the flea flicker play. Warner for the end zone for Fitzgerald. Touchdown! What a catch! In traffic.
Warner on 2nd and 9. Loads of time. Now he throws. It's caught by Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald, touchdown.
Here's a little throwback to Warner going downfield for Fitzgerald. Covered by Demps, and Fitzgerald makes the play for the touchdown.
Arizona was off to its first Super Bowl and needed Fitzgerald's best performance yet. For the second year in a row, the world would get a Super Bowl instant classic and 3 of the most iconic plays in history coming within a 30-minute span.
Harrison to run it back, and Harrison is past midfield. Harrison going down the sideline. Harrison still on his feet. Harrison is going to go all the way and waiting for the official to get there. Touchdown is signaled. 2nd and 10. Warner has time. Fitzgerald into Steeler territory. 30, 20, 10. Arizona has the lead. Washington outside left. Roethlisberger has time. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes.
Unbelievable.
Incredible to the corner of the end zone.
One of the greatest Super Bowls ever is capped off with another all-time moment. Arizona's Cinderella season ends in heartbreak, and the Steelers became the first franchise with 6 Lombardi trophies. As the decade came to a close, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys' new football cathedral propelled the league into the future.
How big is this place? That's the equivalent of a 32-story building.
Known as Jerry World, the team spent over $1 billion to construct a stadium that would go on to host the Super Bowl, Final Four, and World Cup in 2026. Dallas would follow Detroit, Arizona, and Indy among the multi-use stadiums of the 2000s. But back to the game, and guess what? Brett Favre retired and unretired again. This time he's back in the NFC North, but for the purple and gold in Minnesota. 3 weeks into the season, it was evident he still had it.
Everybody out. Favre rolls. Wants to throw deep and does. To the end zone for Greg Lewis. Touchdown! Touchdown!
Of all the great runners we've spotlighted in this decade, none had more yards from scrimmage in a season than CJ2K.
Handoff. Johnson again! Watch out! Johnson! Speed!
Chris Johnson's 2,509 yards from scrimmage are still an NFL record, but weren't good enough to take home MVP. That was a race between the two most prolific quarterbacks of the best 2 teams in football, Drew Brees and Peyton Manning. Both the Colts and Saints started at least 13-0 and seemed to be on a path to Super Bowl 44. The final Brady-Manning showdown of the decade did not disappoint. Bill Belichick's infamous 4th down gamble backfired, giving the Sheriff a 35-34 win and eventually a 4th MVP. Let's take a look at the best the 2000s had to offer. As you can see, Manning and Tomlinson ruled the decade in terms of production. No team won more regular season games than the Colts, but the Pats ruled the playoffs. How about Jason Taylor, who we've yet to mention? 21 more sacks than the second-place finisher. Moving to the playoffs, if you want to talk points, look no further than the wild card shootout between the Cards and Packers, the highest-scoring playoff game to this day.
Extra man on the blitz. Rodgers gets a hand to the face. The ball is out. The Arizona Cardinals win it.
Kurt Warner's roller coaster of a career would end the following week, losing to the Saints juggernaut squad. That would set up an NFC title game between the Vikings and Saints, Favre's last chance at a second ring. With the game tied at 28, Minnesota was driving into field goal range.
Favre sprints to his right, throws back across the middle, and he's intercepted. Porter. The return by Porter, and he's brought down with 7 seconds left.
Manning and the Colts took care of the AFC, and the 2 best teams all year would face off in Miami. Down by 4 entering the second half, New Orleans needed a spark, and Sean Payton made the gamble of a lifetime.
Onside kick to start the second half, and the ball bounces off the hands of a Colt, and it looks like the Saints had it for a second, and it's Saints football. They recover the onside kick.
The surprise onside kick turned the momentum, and the Saints had the Lombardi in their crosshairs. Could they find one more stop?
Picked off. Look out. Gets past Manning, and it's Tracy Porter taking it all the way.
4 years after Hurricane Katrina, the Saints came marching in to win their first ever Super Bowl. Peyton and Brees were saviors. Manning had more questions to answer, and the Patriots dynasty seemed dead. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane. The 2000s, the greatest decade ever.